The filming of Avatar: The Last Airbender Book 1, Water, happened from November 21st to June 2022. And here, for the very first time, you will hear that there are more seasons coming our way after the first one. And these seasons are Book 2, Earth, and Book 3, Fire. But what's the story of Seasons 2 and 3? How can Netflix manage to survive the fast-aging cast, especially for actors who played our beloved gang? Well, we're going to answer those questions, and if you watch this video until the end, you will know the two biggest changes in ATLA's story that can make the live-action series better than the animation series, if done right. So I know you're excited to know this. Let's start the Avatar: The Last Airbender Season 2 teaser leaked with Gordon Cormier. See, if a lot of people sign up to watch the live action of ATLA, Netflix will film Book 2 and 3 back to back. Why? Well, the actors playing Aang and Katara, Gordon Cormier and Kiawentiio, are growing up fast. By the time they start making Book 2, they'll be 14 and 17 years old. In the original series, Aang is supposed to be 12 the whole time, but that might be hard to keep up with in real life. They might change the story a bit to make sense of how Aang and his friends look older as the show goes on. For example, they could say that the big event they're trying to stop is actually 3 years away, not just one. This could mean we see Toph, the amazing earthbender who joins the team in Book 2, looking a bit older too. Now, if you're wondering whether this idea of filming seasons back-to-back is new, it's not. Other shows have done it too. The Witcher filmed its 4th and 5th seasons this way, and so did the movies for Red Notice and a series of unfortunate events for their 2nd and 3rd seasons. This plan depends a lot on how many new people start watching the show in the first 2 weekends it's out. Sometimes, if not enough new people watch, shows don't get to continue, like what happened with the show Partner Track. But it looks like they're trying a new way of deciding if a show keeps going, not just based on how many new people sign up, but also if people watch the whole season. Is Season 2 of Avatar: The Last Airbender happening? Well, the short answer is no, and the long answer is Albert Kim recently told Entertainment Weekly about the future of Avatar: The Last Airbender series, especially about the characters getting older and what that means for Season 2. Even though everything seems to be set up for a second season, with Netflix organizing everything from the first season's titles to a big marketing push, including a website and lots of posts on Instagram, nothing is set in stone yet. Meaning, Season 2 is still up in the air, and it all depends on how much the fans like the first season. Albert Kim shared that he's really focused on finishing the work they've started and isn't thinking about what comes next just yet. But because making a show like this is so complicated, he's had to think about the future a bit. Because again, the main actors, including Gordon Cormier, who plays Aang, and Kiawentiio, who plays Katara, are growing up fast. Gordon was 11 when he auditioned, and now he's 14, and Kiawentiio started at 14 and is now 17. Kim also talked about how, in the original cartoon, everything happens in just 1 year, but they couldn't stick to that timeline for the live-action series. They've had to plan the first season knowing there might be some time between the first and second seasons. This plan includes Sozin's Comet, which is a big deal in the Avatar story. It's like a countdown for the characters, and you can even see it in the show's trailers. This means the story has to move with the actors as they grow, and they're trying to keep everything flowing smoothly, just like the elements in the show. Albert Kim said, "We removed that particular ticking clock from our show for now because we couldn't know exactly how old our actors would be for the subsequent seasons." He continued, "We definitely thought about that going into Season 1 so that we could accommodate for puberty, adolescence, time passing, and all of those fun things that happen to real-life human beings that don't happen to animated characters." One change that's been talked about a lot is how the show deals with time. Making the show takes time, so sticking to the original story's timeline, where everything happens by the end of summer, just doesn't work. Imagine Aang looking much older than when he started, all within the same summer. It wouldn't make sense, right? So now, imagine when Aang learns from Roku about the comet that could end the world, and no one knows when it will arrive. It could be any time, which means Aang and his friends need to be always ready. And then, what if the Fire Nation figures out when the comet will come, but Aang and his team don't know about it? They might have to sneak into enemy territory to find out. See? The possibilities of where this story could go are endless. But on top of those changes, there's this biggest twist Netflix made in the live-action adaptation. Earlier appearance of Ozai and Azula. See, in the live-action series, Ozai and Azula will appear earlier in the original animated series. So, starting with Ozai, in the original show, Ozai was the main antagonist, but we didn't get to see much about him beyond that. By having Ozai show up earlier in the live-action version, we'll get to learn more about him and see him doing more things in the story right from the start. Now, about Azula. She was already a pretty important character in the original series, showing up a lot in the second and third seasons. But by introducing her earlier in the Netflix series, we'll get to see even more of her, sooner. This makes it smoother when she becomes a big deal in Season 2, instead of her just popping up out of nowhere. It's like they're setting up the chessboard early, so when the game starts, we're ready for the moves Azula and Ozai will make. This way, we get a richer story and deeper characters right from the beginning. And getting back to his father, did you know that in the recent poster of Ozai, there's a possible hint for another change Netflix made in the Avatar: The Last Airbender? Well, keep watching. Ozai Easter egg. Everyone in the fandom agrees that Daniel Day Kim is a perfect fit for the role, capturing the essence of the Fire Lord who commands attention not just in the show, but across the internet too. People are even joking online that maybe we should listen to Ozai's side of the story, especially when it comes to his conflicts with Zuko. The attention to detail in Ozai's scenes, like the dragon in the background and even on his robe, hints that the live-action series might dive deeper into the role of dragons in Fire Nation culture than the original cartoon did. Then there's his brother. Poster of Iroh. In the original series, Iroh's outfit looks like an armor, but in the live-action version, he's wearing something that looks more like royal robes. And have you noticed the stunning background? Whether those are real props or just some magic from the graphic designers, they've done a fantastic job making the scene look incredible. This kind of change in Iroh's look and the detailed setting really brings the world of Avatar: The Last Airbender to life in a new and exciting way. Commander Chow, or should we say Admiral Chow, based on the latest poster. The scene setting up his arrival at Kyoshi Island with a massive army is intense. It shows Chow's character perfectly. Someone who doesn't hold back, even if it means bringing an overwhelming force to a small village. It's clear the live-action series is aiming to give Chow a bit more depth, moving beyond his role as just a lesser version of Ozai in the cartoon and possibly making him cooler and more nuanced. Azula and her blue flames. Fans have been buzzing with questions, especially about Azula and her famous blue flames. Some are wondering, why aren't Azula's flames blue in the Netflix adaptation? But it's more important to remember that in many scenes, Azula's flames turn red after they ignite something, except for a few special moments like when she's in the throne room. Another cool detail is Azula's signature two-finger firebending stance. While some think this pose means she's about to lightning bend, Azula actually uses this stance for her firebending in general. But the idea of seeing her lightning bend in the series is definitely exciting. It also brings up how the Fire Nation's bending style in the series seems different, with open palms instead of fists, which is a neat observation. It shows how the Netflix series is bringing its own flavor to the bending techniques we know and love. And getting back to his blue flames, one fan said in the comment section below, "Her name literally means blue, so it makes sense her fire would be colored blue. Besides, making our fire blue is not that hard for us to achieve anyway." Another fan shouted, "I think bringing her early is a good change. She's such an interesting character. I welcome more time with the character."